Look what Jess found, episode 674. I look for the most vanilla, newest looking wrapper that I could find that you would find in a on the counter at your bank. And I keep a bunch of penny wrappers there. And again, this is like the most shiny. It's the shiniest one there, right? Like here goes one, and you can see it looks older. It's like, to me, this isn't. I wanted to find. I didn't want to do a federal wrap today, so I said, well, I kind of did want to do a federal wrap. I said I didn't want to do a federal wrap today. So I said, let's see. I'm really on this whole customer thing and pennies, and the whole thing is kind of nauseating, but at the same time, it's kind of fascinating. Look how little space they give you on the new ones. Is it 50? This is what I do to measure 50. It's 50. There's 50 pennies in here. And if you want to look at in the olden days, they gave you a ton of paper on the side. Everything was more before. Everything is less and cheap and all right. Let's see how much copper we got. I could talk about this nonsense all day. All right. We got a couple dirty ones in there. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get 10 copper pennies out of this. If we do, I will be surprised. But this is the most. I grabbed the most vanilla common penny roll I can. Oh, look at that! I really. Oh well, if we got if some of these pennies in there are copper, then we might have 10 copper. Look at this, a beauty. Supplies. What do we got down there? Oh, no, just some damage. So one of the things I like to do very quickly is to welcome, of course, our newest member to the channel. I want to say your name correctly. Israel. Welcome. Also welcome back American Eagle Roofing Company. And of course, welcome Kobe. And then, of course, our longer standing members, Tara, Sandra, and Eric from Kenai Collectibles. So just like to say that at the beginning of a video. I don't do it all the time, but I try. I do want to let my members know that I think about you guys and ladies quite often, and want to let you know how much I appreciate you. No white AM. Probably throw that one out. So we have 2 copper pennies already. That's a surprise. I noticed that on the T. When I went like this, and then I tilted it very quickly, I said, "Oh, what's that on?" You can see it right there. Now it's mechanical. I won't even say most likely. I will say it's mechanical. But this is one of the things. Like, people must wonder, right? Like, how's this guy finding anything? Well, it's having a sharp eye. I can see it right there. As soon as I went like that, you see the little extra line in the T? It's mechanical doubling. But if I could notice something like that, so slight, of course, a major error I'm going to notice. There's no question about that. And one of the things I've been talking about a little bit more so often lately in the channel is really the importance of finding the lesser known varieties, right? I was really given good instruction at the onset when I first started this channel, um, by a couple stand-up guys, man. Eric and Otis, and some other people out there. But the two that I remember uh, giving me direction the most are those two. Eric again from Keen Eyes Collectible, and Otis, who's in and out of the channel. And as a result of these two people, I'm telling you, man, it's a crazy story, man. And I can only appreciate it in hindsight. Okay, I can only appreciate this in hindsight. If you look at some of my videos, if you watch my videos from late 2023, early 2024, you'll see that just the people that those two are the people I communicate with the most regarding die errors and other things regarding coins and how they're made, and like maker marks, and how to use copper coins, the channel copper coins 92, no close AM, and looking for some die varieties. And it was I wanted the channel to be successful so bad, and I want to do a good job. I think that's a big part of it. I come from that era, right? The 70s, I think, right? Well, no, what am I? Am I Gen X? Yeah, I think Gen X, right? I have to look it up. I feel stupid. Hold on. Yeah, Gen X. A lot of Gen X come from no extra V. A lot of Gen X people come from parents who are in the military, or or were born in the 50s, and that whole generation, pick yourself up from your bootstraps, you could do it, don't cry, you know what I'm saying? Don't be a baby, you could, fight, all that stuff, that whole mentality, which is gone now. It's cry about everything, and everything is just different now, than the 70s. and I and I and that's who I was. Even though I wasn't a good student, even though I didn't excel at many things in life, I got to be honest with you, I didn't. But I always wanted to try. I always had that thing in me to try hard. You know what I'm saying? I always had that thing in me to try hard at whatever it is I was going to do. Work hard at it. All right, so that's a 59. So I will put that to the side. I keep the 59 separate. And so there were a couple guys, I told you, Eric and Oates, who were in the channel, who were like, oh yeah, that's this and that. And I guess because of my nature, I was kind of resistant to hearing what they had to say and the message, and I argued with them. It was probably, in retrospect, it's probably a little funny, but they stood by, they supported me, and I learned, and I didn't give up. They supported me, and I didn't give up on them, right? And I didn't give up on myself, and I didn't give up on the channel, and I didn't give up on my subscribers, right? Again, no extra V. And as a result, I learned from the bottom up, right? When I talk about Rob Finds Treasures, it's not to knock him. That's what I found his channel very entertaining. I still watch Rob Finds Treasures. His channel is super entertaining. He just did these walk-in Liberty, I think, quarters, and he bought what was it? I think he bought 250 of them at $9.50 a piece. So do the math. Let's call it 10. So he paid about $220 for no, what am I talking about? That's 2,000. I got my calculator here. I'm sorry, $2,000. There were two. I think there were 250 or 225. 225 times $9.50. I think that's what he paid. Yeah, 2,137. So he spent 2,137 for one video for one day. I mean, the guy's got deep pockets. He has a flushed out channel. The whole thing, and it's super interesting, right? I wish I could do that per channel. Well, I take that back. I don't really necessarily wish I could do that per channel. I guess I was saying I wish my financial situation was better, that I had the ability to do that per channel. Okay. So, but he went through the Walk in Liberty. Super interesting. Man, I love getting cat hairs and people hairs in my penny rolls, and it was a super cool video. It was great. He showed. He found like I think four of the special whatever year, the key date with the Denver key dates, and each one of those was worth like $30. Another 2023. I wish one of these was a V. Let me go look. I have to look at this one under the loop. It's a little too shiny in that area. No extra V. And again, but that's and that's really all it's good for, which is a lot. I mean, free entertainment today in the 2025, whenever you're going to watch this 2026, that's valuable. It's cool. And I've been watching Rob Fine's Treasure, I want to say, for 15 years, man. I remember when he used to follow him. He used to do, I think he used to put a GoPro on and walk into the bank, like a hidden GoPro, and walk into the bank and talk to him at the counter. I think this is a, what's that called? A Zinc. I'll have to weigh it later. I'll weigh it during the short video. And that's how far back I remember watching his videos. Oh, we got an 82D. All right, we got two 82s. Nice. And you want to know the truth? In 15 years of watching Raw Find Treasures, you know what I learned? Absolutely nothing. I learned nothing watching Raw Finds Treasures. Zero. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Except that you can buy his penny mat, and if you can use his penny mat and to fill in a penny album. No, I didn't learn that from him. I could do that. Anybody could do that. A 5-year-old could do that. You don't need to do that. So I learned nothing. You learn nothing from him, but it's entertaining. It's cool. You collect coins, you collect pennies, you do your own coin roll albums. It's cool. But when I started this channel, some people came and they helped me out, and I learned how to penny roll. I learned about pennies. I learned about coins. I learned about errors. I learned about what Rob calls and about lesser known varieties. And I'm actually I'm sure he did not coin that term, but he used it in one of his recent videos, and I'm going to continue to use it because it's super appropriate, because lesser known varieties is what you're going to find in these customer wrap penny rolls, in federal wrap penny rolls. And these are the types of things you're not going to get. The average person is not getting boxes anymore, especially 2026, 2027 and beyond. When the penny is gone, the penny is going to become myth. It's going to become legend. It's going to become folklore. It's going to become things of history. It's gone, man. Goodbye, But you know what you're going to be able to get every once in a while? You're going to be able to get a roll of pennies. Grandma's going to say, hey, Junior. Hey, Mary, I got a piggy bank. Look what I keep here, right? Like, you can still get pennies as of now. You can still get pennies from change, right? And look what I do. All right. Yeah, I got one penny yesterday when I went out to the store. Right? Pretty heavy. It's gotta weigh about three. I have a scale over here. I can tell you exactly what it weighs, and that'll tell us how many. I think it's 2.5 penny rolls. Yeah, I'll weigh a penny roll. I'll tell you what 2 penny rolls weigh. I think it's 2 penny rolls per pound, or yeah, 2 penny rolls weigh 9.4 pounds, right? And if I think that's correct, right? And if I put another one on, it'll yeah, it goes right to a pound, right? So 2 penny rolls weigh almost a pound, almost. So Oh, okay. Uh, so I guess we'll have to subtract from the jar. I said 3 pounds. It's 3.35 pounds. So about 3 pounds of pennies, or about 6 rolls of pennies. Let's say 6 rolls of pennies, since it's a little bit under a pound per 2 rolls, and we're over 3 pounds. Plus we got the jar. So about 6 rolls of pennies I got there. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, right? So grandma, grandpa, or flea market. What's that called? We go the auction, a garage sale, someplace. Somebody, hey, I got a jar of pennies here, and now 2 rolls of penny weighs 2 pounds. They say, hey, I got 10 rolls of pennies. You got about 20 rolls, a little bit more, maybe 21, 22 rolls of pennies there, right? So that's very simple math, right? So every 2 pounds is about $1.10, $1.20, something like that. And that you're going to be able to take home and do and search through them. But if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have the tools, you're not going to know what you're doing. You're going to miss so much stuff. You're going to miss so many things. And the thing that you're going to look for mostly are lesser known varieties. That is what you're going to be looking for. So and it's so funny because this is all coming to my attention now, more or less as a result of the fact that they're not going to make pennies anymore, and people can't get pennies from the bank. It's like it really opened my eyes to how limited and people sending me comments about, I can't get any pennies no more. Where you get your pennies from? Right? Getting comments like that, and realizing that getting people are really going to appreciate when they get a roll of pennies now, or when they find a bag of pennies in a flea market, or when grandma says, do you want these pennies? They can be like, yeah, yeah. Now people are going to be excited about pennies. And this channel, I hope to be able to pass on to you what was passed on to me, right? We're looking at an old penny, right? We're analyzing it, right? I know I didn't go into crazy details because of talking, but we're looking at it, right? Is that a die clash there? That little mark, right? We got the weak letters here in the O and the S. I could do this for every single penny. The video would be like 3 hours long, right? So I don't want to do that. Look over here. You see that? You see, so remember I said, oh, is that a die clash there? But it says that a die clash there? It is a die clash, right? And here's the head, right? Eric taught me, oh, you got to look at the die clash upside down, right? Because when the die clash was made on the die, it put the image reversed, and that's how you see it on the coin. So look, and there it is. Because that's his. You see that line right there, that shiny line? That's his head. That's Lincoln's head. So I noticed it right there. So it's a die clash. Now, is it worth anything? The penny is dirty, really dirty. Are you going to clean it up? Yeah, you could clean this up if you. I mean, the point is, I've been doing this for a long time, for longer than most people out there, and I found, excuse me, And, you know, die clashes like this are something that I will notice, and I will show you how to find them. Look right here. Look, you see that right there? The little line right there. Check that out. How cool is that? But I might miss them if I'm not really over analyzing each penny. So I'm not doing. Like, if, and that could be another channel. The other channel would say, Jess doesn't, like the way I say Rob doesn't look for lesser known. Jess doesn't, he doesn't look at and someone could spend probably 20 minutes or 30 minutes on each penny. Imagine that. I spend 15, 20 minutes on a roll. Someone out there could spend 10, 15 minutes on each penny. Because I'm telling you, look, there's a little line from this one pair. I know it said, oh, I think that might be from a die clash. And I turned it around because that's how you see the head. And once I seen this right there, I said, okay, it is a die clash because I know that's where the head is. And then when I turned it back around, I saw the little line over here. So I said, oh, look at this. It's got a bunch of die clashes. The problem is it's kind of dirty, you know, and the other problem is it would take a lot of resources to really clean this to the point where you can sell it to make it look presentable, right? It would be cleaned. It's not gradable or anything like that. And then the die clashes are very small and very weak. And for your personal collection and for your personal knowledge, you might want to keep it and look at it under, especially if you have a microscope. Oh, this stuff would look under a microscope. You're in a whole nother world, right? You're looking at amoebas and protozoas, right? And all these little tiny die clashes, they're gonna look huge. They're gonna look like buildings. So if you're going down to that level, God bless you. You know, that's great. And I might not identify. Like I said, look at this. I'm on this one penny already for a couple minutes. I can't do that for 50 pennies, but I can look at each penny very, very quickly or for a few seconds and see if we see anything. I did this right now just to illustrate um, the example of what I'm talking about, putting into context of what I'm talking about right now, and that is that on this channel you can learn how to find lesser. I can see it right there. Lesser known varieties, small errors that on other channels they're not even gonna talk about, or they're not gonna show you anything about. And on this channel I will. But I learned it from somebody else. Other people taught me this. They took their time to show me this. I'm gonna take my time to show it to you, right? And they're still around the channel, which is another thing. Let me tell you something. That is so awesome. Eric is still a member here. Otis is still around, comes in and out. And there's other people, of course. And Sandra's been around with me forever. Terry has been with me forever. And we have new members. Hopefully they're around for a long time. And the penny is going to be with us forever, right? Forever. I mean, forever. Getting, I have getting pennies is something that everybody could do. It's. I don't see now you're not gonna be able to get them from the bank anymore, right? Yes, they're gonna cost you a little bit extra money, but oh 82 small day. Well, look at all these 82s we got. We got like 3 different varieties today of 82s. Whatever this is, it's the Philadelphia small day. If it's a zinc or a copper, I have to weigh them later. This is copper. I can tell it's copper already. It's the large date Denver, and then this one I think this one might be zinc, large date Denver. So we got the small date Philly, uh, the large date Philly, and the large date Denver. So when I say pennies will be around forever, what I mean is everybody. It's going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be easier to get a penny roll 10 years from now than it is going to be to get a roll of silver eagles, right? I mean, silver. How much is silver today? Let's call it $50. And if you want the eagle, it's $5 over spot. $55. If you buy it on eBay, it's probably $60, $65. You get 20. You get 20 coins in a. You get $20 in a roll. So what's that? You want to call it? Let's call it 55. We'll call it 55 times 20. It's $1,100. I'm pretty sure forever. Same thing with silver quarters, silver nick, war nick, whatever, mercury dimes. Pennies will probably always be the least expensive coin that you'll be able to get 50 of them, and you'll be able to do what I'm doing here, and you'll be able to look for. But if you're gonna spend, you might have to spend. I'm pretty sure 5-10 years from now, an unsearched. Well, if it's you're probably gonna buy these in the future. You're not gonna want to buy customer wrap penny rolls because you're not gonna trust that they're not searched. So for a true unsearched experience, you're going to be buying. I kept telling people, get your boxes of pennies from the bank. These are what people are going to want in 5, 10, 15 years from now. Look, there's a copper ender. This is what people are going to want, and they're probably going to be about $5 to $10 a piece, or more, right? Then you got to pay shipping, of course, and you'll be able, so, but even if it's $10, right? $10 with inflation, $10 is probably going to be like $1 today. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's going to be able to get $10 out to turn on Look What Jess Found and Penny Roll Hunt with Jess. You know what I'm saying? And look for lesser known varieties, right? You're not gonna buy one penny roll for $10 and try to find the 1955 double die, right? The $3,000 coin. It's not going to happen, man. You can do 50,000 penny rolls and never find one of those. So that would be unrealistic. I'm throwing this in the garbage. That would be an unrealistic expectation. You follow me? Well, we got a 2025. I'll put this to the side too. Not to collect or anything, but because we didn't get our 10 copper pennies today. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we got the 382s, which I might have to make into individual videos. I wish we found all of these 2023s, not one extra V. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'll probably do the 82 separate then. We might have one more copper penny in there. But that everyone's gonna be able to do. Everyone's gonna be able to get a oh, look at that. See those lines? I bet you and you can see there's a little indentation there. Is that a die clash? No, it can't be a die clash. It's too liney to be a die. I don't think it is. And die clash would be it on the opposite side. You would see the lines here on his face. You would see the shield. So it shouldn't be a die. It does look something. Let me look it down the loop. It does look something really mint like. And especially right there at that one place on the scroll, very, very specific little lines. I mean, there are a couple other little lines, but not like that on the. Another reason I just never noticed that. I mean, it grabbed my attention. So I don't think it's worth anything, but it did grab my attention, and you can see the little imperfection in the shape on right in that area where the scroll is. That's why I was like, oh, maybe that's something that happened at the mint, but probably no value anyway. We got another copper penny here? Nope. So everyone's going to be able to, no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter what, is to get. If you're watching this video in 2030, you can go out and get yourself a roll of pennies. Most likely, no extra V. You can go out and get yourself an extra roll. You can get yourself a roll of pennies. You can look for the 2023 extra V. You can look for die clashes, like how I showed with the other penny over there. You can look for everything you want. You know, you could put all those pennies. You could put all 50 of pennies into flips, and you could save them, and you could put them into coin albums. You could do whatever. You could do anything with them. You know, they're so cheap. You could do whatever you want. Mechanical doubling. Look at this. What a hairy roll this was, right? I'll show you the mechanical doubling in a second. All right, mechanical doubling. It's basically when the die hits the planchet, it just moves a little bit, and it creates a little bit of a duplicate image. You can see it on the bottom of the E, the O. You can see it all over the place. It's not worth it. Now, some mechanical doubling is worth something because it's so exaggerated, right? If you find over exaggerated mechanical doubling, yeah, someone's going to buy that for $5 for sure. And 10 years from now, $5 might be $10, like I was saying. And last but not least, so again, shout out and thank you to all my members and everyone who has helped me along the way. And I hope to be able to share that with all my new members who joined the channel, and of course, all the viewers and subscribers who also watch all my videos to the end. Please click like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next one.